We're live, and we'll get live over here in a moment. And we're live. And we're live, and we're live. Okay, we're live everywhere, right? And yep, we're live everywhere. Okay, good. Hit the go live button. Perfect. I'll go back over here. And hello, everybody. And let's go this. You had a busy day.
Who, me?
Yeah,
Not as busy as yesterday.
that's true. Yesterday, you were really busy, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I crashed today for a while.
Cool. Oh, so we get if I spelled things right. Cool. Here we are. All right. And we're here. All right. There we go. I'll get you right in the frame. There you are, beautiful girl. Ha, ha, ha. So we're having a good time. We're going to have a good time. And I've kind of changed my nickname from Maple Syrup to the Metabolic Grandpa. I just think I think it fits a little better. But hi, I'm George, known sometimes known as the Metabolic Grandpa, and this is you, the lovely Jennifer.
Hi guys.
Right.
And so we get together on formally on Sunday nights to talk about Alzheimer's, dementia, the topics involved with brain fog and that. And so, Jennifer, I hope you had a good week. You doing all right today?
I am. Things have been a little crazy. They're Metabolic Grandpa.
Okay.
Is it cool that you have a sweatshirt on?
Well, okay. A couple things. As you know, as a caregiver, I live in a house that is 78 to 80 degrees.
Okay.
Outside today, it has been raining.
Okay.
And it's been cooler outside, so the wind's been blowing. So because of my new healthier insulin sensitivity, I get cold sometimes. So when the wind blows, I put on a sweatshirt.
I freeze constantly.
Plus, when I sleep at night, my room's at 69 degrees.
Yeah, that's what ours goes down to about 68.
Yeah, and how many blankets do I have?
But I find that I sleep better when the air around me is really chilly.
I do too.
So, an extra blanket doesn't bother me as long as I know the air around me is really cold.
Right. I agree. He sleeps with more blankets than I do.
Yes, I do. I admittedly like a lot of blankets. I used to sleep in what I'd make a taco. I slept in a taco. I have blankets and this over and that over, and it was like a sleeping bag on steroids. And so I slept in a taco.
Well, I told him
this morning. It sounds like you were a burrito.
Yeah, more.
Well, I told him this morning you look like a mummy.
Oh my gosh. So the weather is a little rainy and chill then for you today, huh?
Yes, for me, just a little bit.
Okay, good. Well, we're gonna talk about Alzheimer's and dementia. We're gonna, along with our joking and having fun with each other because we love each other and miss each other. But we're also going to talk about brain fog. We're going to talk about some caregiving and some things like that. And we're going to talk about what protocol and really easy protocol that we're on. And I'm really, really excited. I didn't even get this. I just got this article, and I'm going to talk about it for a little bit to start. And I just picked it up off the press, and it's about it's really exciting. It was published in 2024. So it was published in 24. And it was a study. I'm going to kind of read through this as I'm going at it. But it was a study that was done at the King's College in London, okay, in 24. At the King's College in London, and they used 36 pairs of twins. 36 pairs of twins, 60 years of age plus. So minimum age was 60. And they split them up into two different groups. Okay. And they were given blindly. So people didn't know it was double blind and controlled and all the other things you could do for a good research study. Okay. And it was used they're looking at people with early signs of the Alzheimer's diseases, which we know is underneath the umbrella of dementia. It's a type. And what they did was they gave them some supplements, and one was inulin, and the other one was a fructan, Fructan, otherwise known as FOS, which is fructologlucoside, whatever, long word. I'm not going to say it right. But they were given those two supplements, if you will, when randomly split. One received the daily prebiotic mixed into a protein, and they unknowingly were taking what they were being given. And then 3 months later, 12 weeks was when they did a cognitive test, just 12 weeks. And one of the things that they found, and Dr. Dieter was just on the call before us, and he's on every week a couple times, and you guys have got to get on the call to learn about the gut and the connection of the gut to the brain and everything else. But these daily fiber supplements had a subtle changes in the gut biome between the twins. So one group has this, the other group doesn't. Well, what happened was there was a lot of a beneficial bacteria called bifidobacterium, and plentiful was because they were taking the group that was taking the fiber, this fiber blend. And it says, quote, "We're excited to see these changes in just 12 weeks. This holds huge promise in enhancing brain health and memory in our aging population," was the geriatric medicine researcher there. And unlocking the secrets of the gut-brain axis. Now, we've never heard of it referred to as the gut-brain axis yet, have we? But that's a great because like sometimes these people say that they call the gut the second brain, and no one gets that. But there's a connection if we think about an axis. Now that's one spins around the other. That's a little bit more of a visual because no one likes to think about they have a shitty brain or whatever. Or I got a smart belly. I don't know. You can be smart someplace else, but you're not a smart belly. But anyway, but the effects, what was really important about this and one of the things I'm excited about is because the King's College is home to the United Kingdom's largest adult twin registry. And twin studies are highly valuable when it comes to differentiating between the effects of genetics and the environment and the human health, which is really kind of what we'll talk about with you and your sister. Because the more we talk, the more we do research, the more we learn, don't we? I mean, it's awesome. Now, the one thing is, though, is that the evidence shows for a close relationship between the gut and the brain is growing year after year. There's more and more information on this, more and more about this. And the deal is that in our protocol, what we do every day is at least one of these, adding this fiber mix, this fiber matrix, as simple as making a half a bottle of water, shaking it up and slamming it down. But think about it, guys, that this simple thing that some people only think about weight loss is doing to help fix our gut, right? It does fix the gut. It feeds the good bacteria. It's proven right here in this study again, and there's more. Even the prebiotic that's in here, the fiber that's in here, is what's in our protocol, which is in the Feel Great system, and so it feeds the gut to produce brain supporting metabolites and provides direct neurological support and mental focus. I mean, there it is. Now we don't say that our our 2 drinks, our 3 drinks in a day, right? We don't call it that it solves anything, but it sure helps. And they're independent of us. More and more evidence has shown that this protocol can change and affect our lives in growing ways all the time, doesn't it? I'm pretty excited about that. What do you think?
Yeah, great. Great. I just was telling George, I was thinking today, I wish I could find out somehow how many twins that, like, one of them ended up with Alzheimer's and the other didn't, like my situation. But I don't know how I'd ever find that out.
Maybe we can reach out. Maybe we could reach out to the King's College. This is where this is at. We'll fire them out some correspondence this week. You'll see if we can't find out about that.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll include the story about you and your sister, and we'll say, hey, look, we're doing more research, and maybe we can get somebody to come and invite them and come on the show. Would that be awesome? We can get them to come on and just kind of share some of those insights with us. I mean, that would be phenomenal. King's College, I hope you're listening. We'd love to have you with us.
George, if I could, I wanted to piggyback off of something that you were just talking about.
Please do.
Because I got myself a copy of the Mind Gut Connection, and
who's the author? Who's the author?
This is Emmerin Mayer.
Okay.
All
right.
I know it's backwards. I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
It's funny because this was one of the books because I dealt with anxiety and depression and severe brain fog. My brain fog was so bad that, as a full-time caregiver of almost 4 years, I was forgetting and putting medical appointments for my parents on the wrong week and the wrong day. And that is not something as a caregiver or a child that you ever want to have happen to you.
Right.
And you were talking about the gut brain axis. Well, I literally pulled this book out this morning with the intention that I'm going to read it after our call tonight. And I opened to a page that says the information highway of the gut brain traffic. Because as you were talking about the axis, the first thing that popped in, and this is, if it's okay, I'm going to read just a little bit of what it says.
Please do.
The vagus nerve plays a particularly important role in communicating gut sensations to the brain. The great majority of gut cells and receptors that encode gut sensations are closely linked to the brain via the vagus nerve. So we have a nerve in our body that is like I'm going to call it the highway.
Sure,
maybe that's
absolutely.
the axis they're speaking of.
Sure.
That whatever happens in our gut is being transferred via the vagus nerve to our brain. So I believe, don't quote me because I'm still learning about this, but I can tell you through the Feel Great system, and especially the fiber, my mood has increased. Like, mom can't understand why I'm so happy while I'm off of my antidepressant and anxiety meds. All because we got the gut under control and the brain fog is gone.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And we see more and more of it, don't we?
Absolutely. I hope one day we can have Sam back on our call because Sam is an excellent story of how, I thought it was aging. Maybe Sam thought it was aging. George, did you think it was aging? Because we all
Yeah, I
say,
was hey Keith, glad to see you, buddy. We have to have you just join us one of these days. Just come on board. You know what I'm talking about, Keith? Anyway, we love our Keith too. But yeah, I was really worried. Because I've seen dementia. You know, my mom has Alzheimer's and she turns 97 here next week or next month. Yeah. And yeah, that's something. And I don't want to go down that path. You know, I didn't want to go down that path. And when I could remember somebody's name when I was looking at them, you know, I'd forget someone's name, or when I would forget words in a song. I mean, just blank mid sentence, mid song, like, or then couldn't read. What's even worse is my vision was going so wonky that I couldn't even read. I couldn't read the music, so I couldn't read the words to songs, and so I'm just humming, dumbing them along, trying to fake it till I could catch up to wherever somebody was. But yeah, truly, I was. Well, you know, my story, and some people have heard it, some haven't. But one day, I didn't go more than 100 yards to a stop sign to turn around 5 times to go back to the house, to go to the butcher block to pick up something I forgot, which first one was a phone, and then it was a drink, then it was my briefcase, and it was a jacket. I forgot it was 5 times. I'm thinking, like, what in the flying? That's not like, where's my phone? I mean, that is just beyond severity. So yeah, I was concerned, and I told my beautiful friend here that if I just disappeared, you know, that's what I would do. It wasn't I wasn't gonna leave the world. I was gonna leave everybody's presence. I would be up in a mountain cutting fish bait or something, you know, whatever. But I would find a place where maybe I'd go pan for gold or something, just sit me in the rocks in the water. But then again, I'd have to know what I was doing, or remember what I was doing, or why I was doing it. And then I'd have to, if I just, I was going to come home, I'd have to remember how to get home. So yeah, I have seen severe brain fog. A friend who had Lyme disease, and I got a Lyme thing too, but I didn't go down that path like she did, or still is sort of, but she's improved. But she'd go into the garage in the car to go to a store or whatever, and forget why she was in the car. She would get 100 yards from the house at a stop sign and not know where she is, not know how to get home, and would feverishly text, but it was all literally letter garbage. There was no words. There was just, I mean, there was words in letter splatter. So you didn't even know where she was. I mean, that was way worse than I ever got. And so yeah, and for Sam, in Sam's story, he was in the desert in California. And he was headed back to Indiana or Arkansas, his home, and he'd been doing this route for years, and was going to fill out the app on his phone like we do. You know, it's something he does thousands of times. Didn't know what he was doing. Didn't know how to do the app. Didn't know where he was. Didn't know how to get home. And he literally got out of the truck, got in the desert, got on the ground and prayed. He literally prayed for help. He did get his wife on the phone, and they were going to send his son was going to come out and kind of milk him around, but they got him to get the GPS going so he could be told how to get home. And if all you have to do is follow directions and don't have to think, it's a lot better off. But holy cannoli, yeah, I mean that's all of a bag of chips of an issue. And Keith goes, I was losing my glasses while they're sitting on top of my head. I get that, Keith. One of my best friends one day, he was just upset because he couldn't find his phone in his other hand. And he was walking around the house, he's looking in the car, he's in the bedroom, he's looking under furniture, all the while brandishing the phone. So, yeah, I mean, brain fog is a precursor, and it is a disconnect with the gut. It really is, the mind and the gut. And, and it doesn't matter if your gut gets bigger, that doesn't mean your brain's getting bigger. The functionality actually probably gets softer, right? But absolutely. But this study, I'm so excited that this study, not directly related, but directly correlates to what's in our feel great system, especially in the fiber. The type of materials that they used in this study with twins that was published, peer-reviewed in 24, I'm extremely excited about it. And so we've got more research that validates and we don't make claims. But we do know that inside of our own cells, our mental clarity improves, our energy improves, all the other markers improve. So, yeah, it's there. And so this was all about with twins. And so I guess, Cheryl, let's talk a little bit about your story with twin and your twin sister. And here comes Andrea. Oh, my goodness. Look there's this wonderful lady, Andrea.
Yes, welcome.
Hello, beautiful people. It's been a while.
Yes, it is.
How was the wedding?
It was beautiful. They just finally posted a picture. So I'm like, hallelujah, I can post. I've been waiting. So it was wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for asking.
Congratulations. Did you hear what we were talking about earlier about the study from King's College?
I did not. Literally, I just jumped on. So no, okay. I did not.
I'm just going to real quick and we'll get into this. There was published in 2024. Okay. And it involved the first of its kind of twins taking a daily protein prebiotic supplement, and they did memory test scores, and they were over 60. So twins, okay, and at King's College, 36 pairs of twins, all 6 years or older, and they're divided up, one twin over here, one twin over there, and they were put on a 12-week diet that includes 12 weeks, but it really included these two components, and there was inulin and FOS, which are kind of prebiotics, which are fiber that we have in our protocol, and they had the group that was on what would be our protocol, right, had increased beneficial bacteria, and that reduced cognitive deficits by regulating the gut-brain connections in just 12 weeks. And the King's College is in the United Kingdom, has the largest registry of twins. And so now they were able to say, okay, genetics, we got identical twins. What about human environment? So this is really exciting because it does complement, because we never say it cures anything, but we do know that this blend boosts brain function, and we have a high quality matrix, not just some kind of blend off the shelf and that type of thing. So really excited about that. And Cheryl said it'll be nice. It'd be interesting to find out how many twins, identical twins, develop Alzheimer's where one passes away and the other doesn't to get it. And so we're going to reach out to the King's College and see. We're going to see if we can't get them on the show too. So
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
we're going to work on that.
Well,
So
you guys have a story and that
Yeah.
impacts you. Cheryl, that impacts you. And that, you need to know that even for your legacy, for your generations that
Right.
come after, you need to know that. That's important. So I would pull on that string. Hey, I need to know this.
So tell us about your story with taking you were a caregiver. You've not had brain fog and that kind of stuff yet, have you? You're only like 23. You're like
Oh,
Jennifer.
yeah. I wish, right? I wish. Yeah. Yeah, we were caregivers for 3 years in our home with 3 different family members, and they struggled with Alzheimer's, dementia, and a concussion, brain injury, different things like that. And it's very difficult, and a number of different diseases happened after that, and falls. And so you're dealing with the whole gamut of all of it. And even my dad, who is still living, and I know this is something that we've not really talked about, he had battled dementia and Alzheimer's, I think it's all just really kind of linked. But literally, if his nutrition is off, his brain function is off. And it can happen within 12, 18, 24 hours. And we have literally seen that. If you don't, because what you feed your brain, that's causing the things, it's causing the synapses to fire. It's causing, the connections to actually happen. And this is a bad story for me to share, probably. I was a homeschool mom. I had a young'un who struggled with some learning disabilities, and we started adding a bunch of good nutrition in at the time. And all of a sudden, he started passing his test. I accused him of cheating, not realizing we changed our nutrition. We were feeding the brain, so his ability to absorb the information we were teaching, because he had the nutrition that he needed. And George, that's what we're doing. We're adding that nutrition back in. And it makes a huge, I haven't put this out there, but I had a concussion a couple weeks ago, and I had some brain stuff going on and some vision stuff going on. And it was pretty, let's just say I've never been in that situation before. And I thank God I had this, because I knew it was helping reduce that inflammation. And inflammation is a key to everything. And you need to have these tools in your back pocket for aging well, for longevity, for vitality. And it makes a huge difference in all of it.
So let me ask you, like Jennifer just put up a book. What's the book you showed us?
I'm sure she has a copy. The Mind Gut Connection.
Okay. No, I don't. I need to get that.
Okay. Apparently, there are 2 books, and my family, I put them on my Amazon wish lists.
Okay.
And my family has graciously gifted me both books.
Okay.
And
give me. I have Amazon pulled up right now.
Yeah. I did not realize, and I mean, even on the cover, it says how the hidden conversation within our bodies impacts our mood, our choices, and our overall health.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was telling George when he was talking about that study, and I had flipped open to the page of the book where it's talking about, he was saying that they were saying that the gut health and the brain health are on an axis. And as soon as he said that, I was like, it's in the information highway, the vagus nerve, which
Yeah.
I learned from my daughter before I even got the book. So it blows, pun intended, to know that the health of our gut is so effective by, what goes on in our brain. And I'm glad to hear that you were okay after your concussion situation. I did not realize you had
Yes.
such an extensive situation going on.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, and so think about, Jennifer, you mentioned the gut brain. Thanksgiving, what happens? We eat that turkey. How do we all feel after that? We're all exhausted. Nobody's thinking well. We just want to go sleep. And yeah, there's a huge connection. And if you're foggy thinking, am I dehydrated? Do I have the nutrition that I need? Am I eating a bunch of sugar that's just clogging up, all my little things that need to fire? Are they just, inflamed versus firing like they're supposed to?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And now Jennifer, this week, what has happened this week in your advancement of your caregiving?
Well, George and Cheryl, let me sit up straight for this one. I'm proud. Okay, this has been a long time coming, as you guys know, who've watched our series on Sundays. I actually had a call with another partner friend of ours named Kimmy out of Fort Lauderdale, and she was working for Medicare. So I got on a call with her and my dad. And in this conversation, I was able to learn what, and so some people that don't know, I'm also taking care of the finances for my parents as well, in conjunction with my dad being present when we do this. Because my dad does not want me to have the keys to the kingdom. I don't want the keys unless they need to be given to me for safety and, safety purposes. So we get on this call. I learn, that they have insurance through his former employer. I learn about Medicare. I learned that the employer requires them even to be on Part A and B of Medicare, but has to pay in a portion to Medicare, which comes from Social Security. Did
Correct.
I know all of that the last time we talked, guys? Absolutely.
You did not. No.
Like, that was a lot. My head was swimming. I was like, I'm down the whole time. She's talking. Dad's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like writing this down. Talk about, this is my belief only. Not everybody believes in Jesus. But I believe that this was a full-blown Jesus moment. And the reason I say this is because the day after this phone call, my girlfriend was going to retire June 1st. Her whole office closed and she was let go.
Oh,
So she's already been preparing for this moment. She thought it was going to happen in June. God had other plans. It was happening the day after my phone call. So talk about how things happen for a reason in the timing that they were.
Timing was perfect for you to get the information you needed, that dad could see and have things validated, that you're on top. You're not coming around and trying to subvert or go behind.
Yeah.
You're leading the charge, but allowing him the ability to have the strength to ask the questions, to be quizzed, to get the realization that information he doesn't know that he should know, remember, or should have known. Now you do. I mean, it's a great validation and vindication of your positioning. Absolutely.
And it definitely challenged him in that moment to go and find the booklet from the company on his insurance plan. And he goes, I think I do have to pay into something. And before the call had ended, he pulled up the page in this thick booklet. And he's like, here it is. This is why I'm paying. Okay. I'm going to take this as today's win. So in that conversation, I did find out I need to call their main insurance company, which I'm going to do tomorrow. They will be able to provide some home care because at this
Oh, sweet.
point,
So you're going to get a respite? You could get a respite?
they can't title it as respite.
Okay.
It's
But
you have somebody come for a couple of hours
Right.
to, help them with, in my case, eye drops, medications, conversation, maybe helping prepare dinner while I finish working in that window. Is that respite to me? Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I can't title it that.
Right.
Because they don't
what
provide that care.
what a win. What a victory. That is a godsend. I am so excited because
Yes.
as we're going through this journey, right? I mean, it's like we're watching this evolve and sharing. And it's incredible. Now, Andrea, when you were, I'll say, I don't know another way to say things but thrust into becoming caregivers to direct family members or family members by way of marriage, so they're still family members,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I don't understand the word step. Either you are family, you're not family. You don't get to put one leg outside and one leg not in the house. I don't know. So when you when I don't know where the step comes in.
I love you, George.
Someone explain this to me. I just don't get it. Anyhow, let me go back to my question. When you were put into that, how did you learn all the things that you learned that Jennifer is learning, and we're going through this evolving as we all have, and we still continue. Where did you get your information? How were you learning this stuff?
Well, when we got put into this situation, it was because of a fall and a broken hip. And that's what started, hey, we had to step in, actually left our home, went to another state to stay to care. And there was other chronic conditions like COPD and Down syndrome going on. And so there was just no other option, and I'll be honest with you, it was really hard to find help. We had no help for years until we ended up having to call in hospice, things like that. And that's when we got involved with hospice, and then we got involved with through hospice, they brought in social workers and they told us about Meals on Wheels. So we used that some. So check into that. If you can have access to that, that can help. And then we had hospice care coming in a couple times a week. But as far as actually having respite care and somebody else coming in, this was during COVID. So everything was just really,
Oh, gee, the goodness.
yeah, everything was up in the air and nobody really knew, what to do or how to get help. So that was a struggle. But yeah, I would say get with your local social worker because they were amazing for us. And when we had to make some hard decisions, really hard decisions, they were able to help walk us through the mental and emotional aspect, because it's a heart thing, and but I also have a dear friend who's in the health and wellness space, and she looked at me and said, hey, there are many times that caregivers pass away before the person that they're caring for does, because of the enormity of the situation that they're in. It's a lot to take care of somebody. And so, Jennifer, I applaud you for doing what you're doing. And George, I know you have some of that on your plate, you guys, and it's not easy, but it's something that I wouldn't go back and change ever. I'm thankful that we were able to do what we did, and my husband did suffer a widowmaker heart attack during that time. And a lot of it was, I feel like there was a lot of stress and there wasn't help that we could get. And so, yeah, It's not easy, but do your due diligence. Look into a few things. Even just the Meals on Wheels was a godsend. You know, they came, gave them somebody to drop some food off at times, and just that other conversation. That was a godsend for somebody who wanted to have some conversation and not just see the same two people all the time. You know, yeah.
And Jennifer, your situation, you've been there now 3 years,
Yeah, I'm going on 4.
going into 4 years.
And this has been the most emotionally challenging, but the most personal growth that I've had, thanks to my no brain fog and the newfound family that I have.
Yes. There's
Yes,
a
I'm
huge,
talking to you.
there is a world of support and love for you. Absolutely, you know it.
Absolutely.
And so,
So I want to know, since Andrew and I have been talking about caregiving, and George, we've heard from you. Cheryl, I know that at during the time when you were going through the Alzheimer's with your sister, how was the caregiving for you? Did you have support during that time?
Well, I wasn't her sole caregiver. Her husband was, but he would travel maybe 2 days a week. So I left my job at our family business for a time and just help with her. She would come to my house. So I wasn't, the main caregiver, but still it's a lot, even for the time I had her. She wasn't, she was still pretty good during that time. I had to help her with everything, but she would ask, and but she loved. We lived on the river at the time, and she loved just sitting out in the patio, and she loved watching the birds. She didn't really need to be entertained that much, but it was hard. You're responsible for this person, and you can't really let them out of your sight because you don't know what they're going to do. I had a call one day, and she still had her driver's license, and I was working in the business, and had a call from a friend, and she said, "Have you talked to Sharon?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Well, she was coming out to my house, and that's been over an hour ago, and she's not here." So I called my sister, no answer. And so I was just getting in my car, and I was going to go look for her. I didn't know where, but I started leaving, and I tried calling her once again, and she answered. And I said, "Sharon, where are you?" And she said, "Home." I said, "Well, Judy said that you were on your way out there and you weren't there yet. I just wanted to make sure you're okay." "Oh, I couldn't find it, so I came home." It's like, no, nonchalant, it didn't upset her or anything. But that was scary, very scary. Her husband would set her on the front porch if he was out mowing on the mower, because they had a lot of land. But their blue heeler dog that they had forever would sit right beside her. Somehow animals know. He would sit right beside her, and if she even got up to go in the house, that dog went and found my brother-in-law. But the longer it went, the harder it was. She ended up in a nursing home the last year of her life, and that was very hard.
And that she's your twin sister.
Yeah.
Identical twin.
It was very hard to see her. In my mind, at that time, I thought she will always know me. Well, she didn't. And that was very hard. And she would start doing things like, one day I walked in the nursing home, and they had a main area, and then their rooms were down the hall. And she was usually in the main area. and she wasn't there. So I walked down the hall to her room. She wasn't there. And as I was coming up the hall, I could hear pounding on the wall.
Mhm.
And I walked, and I kept walking that direction. I found her in someone else's room, and she's pounding on the mirror.
Mhm.
And we had to, she was having angry outbursts and things like that, which was not normal for her. But when she went to the nursing home, we had to cover the mirrors because she would walk up to the mirror and look and just start getting really upset. I think deep down she knew she wasn't supposed to look that way because her whole appearance changed. We didn't even look like twins anymore.
Information had gotten.
Yeah. And some guy, some big guy, everybody in those Alzheimer's units, they're locked because they know people are trying to escape. Some big guy, I mean, he was a big guy, came up and grabbed her, and she popped him. She did. She had strength. She popped him, and she wasn't bigger than me. And just, little things like that. I took her outside one day. It was a nice spring day. Took her outside, walked around the circular driveway, and there was a bench out there. So we sat down for a little while, and then she started looking, had this look on her face, and she kind of look around. And I said, "Do you want to go back in?" Because she was shaking. She said, "Yeah." She wasn't a familiar environment for her, so it scared her. And just things like that, she really, really changed. When she didn't know me, that was hard. It really was. I lost half of my whole when I lost her. Really did. I don't regret doing what I did, although I didn't have the main job that, and like on Thanksgiving, she couldn't put her makeup on anymore at a certain point or do her hair. And she said, we're getting ready for Thanksgiving. She said, would you come out and do my hair and makeup? I said, sure. And her husband even did her hair and makeup to take her even to Walmart because he knew she liked to look nice. And he did a pretty good job, except one day my niece came home and she said, Dad, what'd you put on her eyebrows? He had put, and he's colorblind, he put red lip liner on her eyebrows. So, there were some funny things, but yeah. It was bad. It was. But we tried to keep things as normal as we could. We did things with her, and until we couldn't anymore. So yeah. But
So you guys, if you were talking to someone that's beginning to go through this process or be concerned, what would you share with them now with what you know? What would be a couple, 2, 3 things that you would share with people of the forward, the things they could do now to mitigate or whatever? What are some things that you would share now that you know what you know, or what as you're learning, you guys?
well, I would get her on the system. It could have helped. And that's why I'm on it, because of that. I want to keep my brain healthy, although today I lost my cup. And I always mix it in this insulated cup, and I take it to work. And I mixed it up. I drank most of it. And we got back from church, and I didn't realize I didn't even have my cup until later on this afternoon. It was like 4:00. Because I was looking for it because I thought it was almost empty and I couldn't find it. I walked in every room in the house. And
then I walked in every room of the house to try to find it too. And I go, can't you ask Alexa, where's my cup?
So anyway, he found it. It was in the pantry because I had been in there to look for something. I had to reach high up to get it. And I set it on the shelf, and that's where it was at.
On the shelf, double Dutch pantry doors, full doors, lights are out. So it is literally nowhere in the house. And so I go into the pantry because we're for cooking and getting a couple things, and I go like, oh, I found it. And I go walking towards her. I didn't get it for her though. No, I don't. So I found it. She go, what? I found your cup. Oh, where is it? I go there, over there. And she goes, where over there? It's over there. And then she goes in there and she doesn't turn on the light, right? And she's still looking and she can't see because there's a light on the pantry. I go like, turn the light on. I'm like, oh, thank goodness she didn't go. I wonder how it got there.
No, I realized after I found it what I did.
Oh, cute. But anyway, so get on the protocol. What about you, Andrea? What would you tell somebody?
Well, I would tell somebody to start taking care of their brain early because it matters. Those things that we do now, and even in our now they're saying even in your 30s and 40s, it's starting to happen earlier and earlier and earlier because the quality of our food, the stress of our life, all of that matters. So realize when you walk in the kitchen and you forget why you walked in there, oh, I need to feed my brain. How are we feeding our brain? Is it nothing but processed foods? Are we getting the good omegas? We have a great omega too. Amazing things like that. Definitely get on the Feel Great system because it matters. Food is your best medicine or your worst poison. I did a short video today, and I used to be a Coca-holic. When I was younger, working at a store, I would probably have a Coke an hour.
Oh.
And I look at how that set me up for my 20s and 30s for the issues that I had with gestational diabetes, with hormones, with ovarian cysts, a number of different things. I had insulin resistance way back then. Didn't even realize it until a year ago. So I would say start early, realize what you feed your body matters, what you don't feed your body matters. All of that, it makes a difference. And you can do a few easy things. I took a picture today of, it was a Coke and water bottle at the store. And it's like 2 for $5. It was 2 Cokes, 2 for $5, or a bottle of water. And I thought, you know what? That is the cost of our system.
Yeah.
I spent more on those Cokes all the time. I could have this and have brain health, have energy, have focus, have sleep, have no hormones, hot flashes. Holy cow. What do I want? What do I want to put my $5 towards? Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, that's where we're at. What do I want to put my $5 towards? I have a choice, life or death.
Right.
And I'm choosing life, and that can make a huge difference for all of us, no matter what age we are. We all need, and we even see kids. Kids are scoring better on their SATs, their standardized test options. Kids can do this because it's just a food. It's food, and that's what I love about it.
Right.
Yeah. In general, what would you tell somebody? So like, wait, we got an 8, a 7. We skipped the 6. We go to the 5 and the 4. Isn't that how this room works today?
That is adorable, but I'm not in my 40s.
I'm almost at a 6.
Andrea's in her 40s. Pardon me, Andrea.
No. I'm almost at a 6. Give me a
That's
year.
right. You are getting close to this to the birthday, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you. You don't even look, girl. You look younger than me.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, you do.
We're gonna age like Cheryl here.
That is the goal.
Yeah.
To have as much energy as Cheryl and mental clarity and movement and the doing and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw her doing the jig and dancing, and oh my gosh, if I could just move like that, and mowing the yard and her decorations. Holy
Uh-huh.
cow! Yep, she is an example of who we want to be
Thank
when
you.
we
Yeah.
grow up.
So, Jennifer, what would you tell someone in regards to what our subject matter tonight?
For me, I would say, yeah, I was always told eat more fiber. Well, I didn't know what that meant. Okay. I grew up during the old food pyramid where all of the breads and the pastas and stuff were on the bottom, and it said 9 to 11 servings. And so I thought that's what I was supposed to eat. I thought that was fiber. So when I was introduced to this system, I found the simplest little packet that took the thinking out of fiber for me,
Right.
and it's something that I've introduced to my daughter. It's something that my mom is starting to use again.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Praise Jesus. Okay.
Amen.
And really it's reminding her and my daughter and myself, because I've dealt with, the depression, the anxiety, the brain fog. Mom has cognitive decline. The recall is slow. My daughter has some mental health stuff too. The more I drink the fiber, the more clarity. My mom's recall is faster. She doesn't seem as confused. Now, yes, we do have other health issues going on that is bringing frustration, but there's not as many trips to the facilities with the IBS, the diverticulitis, and the colitis.
Mm.
And
Right.
it's a daily reminder: fiber, 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 fiber.
Right.
I need it so dumbed down. I need a packet
Yeah.
because then I don't have to think about it.
Right.
Well,
I do eat salads at the beginning of my meals. And over time, I've been on this almost 9 months. I actually crave the fiber that is in the salad after I have my fiber. I know. Craziest thing. Some of the
Love
things
it.
I'm learning about myself is just blowing my mind. So,
Perfect.
why not take a chance on adding fiber? Oops, excuse me. Adding tea. And I have to throw this out there, George. I'm going to be George's commercial. And don't forget about your everyday protein, because, folks, we don't get enough protein. Okay? And this is not like you're going to eat a whole chicken, because at one point I was eating half of a chicken to myself at a meal. This helps.
mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, the first half of the chicken was just a snack for later when I finish it.
Yep.
It's like people don't understand when you're really gooped up. I was eating a whole watermelon a day, and that was like easy peasy, and a $5 roasted chicken at one of the supermarkets. Well, you get 2 thighs done pretty easily, Well, okay, I guess I'll finish it because I don't want it to go to waste. And, maybe I'll be cool and cut some of up and put it in a salad or something. But why? I don't want to take the time to chop it up and whatever. So.
That's when he was living on his own.
Overfed and undernourished, really.
Yes.
Overfed.
But you know what? He was drinking all this milk, and I just, George, why are you drinking all this milk? He would down a gallon
The day.
Oh.
Easy, along with my watermelon.
Isn't it crazy when our gut is like that, how much we crave certain things because our body is depleted in the good things that we're not eating?
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, our time is to the top of the hour. My love is just overflowing for all 3 of my faves. And I'm just excited. I'll see you 2 youngins tomorrow. I'll see you yet tonight. and guys, I hope you have a great Holy Week and all the other things that people may be celebrating and or just got finished doing. But we really want you to get your health. If you know and you have any questions, get a hold of our dear friend Andrea. She can coach you and guide you. She's a professional and she's got it all. And then if you're in Florida, my goodness gracious, you've got to get a hold of Jennifer. There is nobody that is more in love with helping people and a passion and energy than her. And then if you're up in the Midwest, you can get a hold of this youngin, get a hold of Cheryl. You can find her on Facebook or wherever else good things are sold and available. And then there's me. And I'm just the metabolic grandpa, and I'm in love with everybody. So thanks for coming in this week. We'll see you next Sunday.
Well,
No, we won't see you Sunday. It's Easter. Probably we'll all be involved in chocolate bunnies and gummies and peeps and
no peeps for
no
me.
peeps, no peeps. Wait, before I let you go, on a chocolate bunny, if you had the choice, I don't know if you'll eat one or not, but if you had a choice, are you the tail or the ears first?
Ears.
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 Okay, it's all ears, no rears. Have a great night. Thanks for coming in.
No,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Like,